Oh yeah, Beltalona. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of new people to welcome. So let's get at it. Happy 2022. Hello, citizens. Welcome back. Happy 2022. You made it. Hopefully, Santa was really good. Yeah, Space Santa, of course, brought you all the cool, shiny spaceships to stuff your metaphorical stocking. I hope you got it all. I hope you got more. I hope they're falling out of your stockings. Welcome to the Ghostknife of Callisto. I am your awkward org head, Anon, or Anamandaris, or some people call me Anom. Started as Anon. It's not important. You are important. Welcome. So, what is the Ghostknife of Callisto? We are a defunct de facto family within the verse that spills out into IRL. And I think personally, if I'm going to be, kind of frank, even though that's not my name, please don't call me Frank. If I'm going to be curt, that's not my name either. What am I doing? It's been a while. If I'm going to be transparent, we're friends. In every sense of the word, and we are family in every sense of the word. We care about each other, we share with each other, we collaborate, we're there for each other in the hard times to share in the good. And that might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I challenge you to give it a go. Big believer that the people that have kind of found us here, they've done it largely on word of mouth or, I guess, virtue signaling. People that found us that were looking for something that was a little bit different, but still fit the mold of a Star Citizen organization. That's what we are. But we're more than that, much more than that. And as we grow, and all these different people, these different entities, even though we're all human, these different people, different perspectives coming in and sharing their thoughts on the game and just kind of who they are, their specific flavor. It's made this family stronger. It's made it much more interesting, and it's given us a lot to be thankful for. So if you're here, thanks for being here, and I look forward to us making some cool memories together, sharing some laughs, and of course banking that AUEC. So what does it specifically mean to be a belter? If you're not familiar with our lore, I'm not going to bore you with it, but I will kind of condense it a little bit because it is important and tangential to the experience that we are offering here. So belters, basically that's everybody that's in the organization here, but it's derived from a pretty awesome sci-fi series by James S.A. Corey. If you're not familiar with it, it's The Expanse. It's a really successful TV show that's just wrapping up its 6th season right now. That's phenomenal. And it's done really good things to and for and with the source material. Oh, cheers. We take a specific character from that universe and expound on sort of the morals and principles that were present in some of the overarching decisions that individual made. And they're really good sort of touchstones for us as an organization, but for us as individuals to go out into the verse, make an impact while we're making some money, and also have a sort of a larger than individual experience. We're getting to see people that are recognizing who we are in chat, like in game, which is fantastic, and that's probably part and parcel to some of the recruitment campaigns that we've held, some of the inter-org events that we've done, and just being present in the verse a lot, right? We have a kind of light roleplay elements where we're blasting out things to the chat and we're sort of quote unquote in character, right? Now, as individuals, that can mean to you whatever you want it to mean, but we're here to sort of push a narrative about our affiliation and what our affiliation represents and requires that's going to attract other players down the road, like-minded people that are going to help us grow and help us do the macro. Now, what is the macro? Well, macro isn't even close to being able to get your fingers on in Star Citizen. It's a few years out. And we're talking about, of course, this harkens to the origins of belterness, of belters, is living on the frontier, living on the fringe. Now that kind of gameplay isn't going to be available to Star Citizens for a very long time, but we're working on the systems and we're working on the integrations of different gameplay loops to allow that, so that right when the gate opens, so to speak, we are hitting the ground running. claiming territories that will be Ghostknife friendly. And of course friendly to some of our other organizations that we are already friendly with or may become friendly with. We're not really keen on having, I would put it, mortal enemies. We're gonna have them, but those are relegated to people that are uncompromising and just assholes. People that are gonna only take for themselves and do some really shady shit. And if you're more interested in what that shady shit looks like and where we kind of dig our heels in, so to speak, or draw a line in the sand, you can visit the RSI page and really get a really good look at what our mantra is, who we are as a group, what we're intended to represent as individuals, how we're going to work together, and basically where our lore came from. So if that interests you, go check it out. If not, unofficially, semi-officially, I don't know, I don't know. Welcome to the Ghostknife of Callisto. Consider yourself a belter. I'm your org head, Anon, for whatever that's worth. Please feel free to reach out to the Callisto commissioners if you have any insight or if you have any issues that you've had, which hopefully is none. And that counts on a little bit of you too. If you do run into any kind of shit in the chat, in our chat specifically, doesn't jive well, we encourage you to bring it up with the individual. Also, definitely encourage you to bring it to the Callisto Commission or myself so we can deal with it. We are a family here in every sense of the word. Happy 2022. Words are really hard. Okay. All right, well, there's a lot planned for 2022, so we're not going to go over absolutely everything, but here's the pertinent stuff. Let's get into it. So org events, we're very much in the works of planning some interesting org events that are going to be outside and ancillary to just what we're seeing offered by CIG at the moment, which is, of course, things like Jumptown, Nine Tails, that kind of thing, right? Now, while it's great to get into those sorts of events, we are finding there's some challenges while we scale our presence, right? So what we're looking at right now is some other means and tactics, ways to kind of group ourselves up and make a little bit more money, a little bit more efficaciously. Right now, kind of having everybody coming and showing up is fantastic. Having these large groups go, we can actually, hold down Jumptown, for instance. That's great. Because it provides a whole lot of dynamism that we otherwise wouldn't get to experience, a whole lot of coordination we otherwise wouldn't get to experience. But of course, the money-making challenges tend to be a little bit more difficult when you're splitting things like 13 ways. So we've got some things in the works there. Callisto Commission's been working on some different ways to break that up. One of our Callisto commissioners is liable to reach out in the next little while to kind of go over a general process. As a fact, Alien, who is one of our commissioners, has kind of taken charge on that one and kind of putting a roster together, sort of a sign-up sheet. We're going to make that a more formal sort of thing in the events tab under Discord. So keep your eye out for that. If you have any interest in maybe spearheading that, or if you have any insight you'd like to share in terms of event types, all that kind of stuff, please do that in the event ideas tab. And I really encourage you guys to do that. Right down to maybe ways of organizing the events or what event types you would like to see, even times that you might be available. All that stuff is useful information to have. It's going to help us more information to aggregate, more of an informed sort of decision we can make that will accommodate everybody, and that is our intention. So Callisto Commission 2.0. We're going to talk a little bit about that and what the Callisto Commission represents. So for those of you that are just new or haven't really been introduced to the concept of the Callisto Commission yet, while Ghostknife is on this same level plane, everybody has their own agency, we do have a governing body that helps us decide the overarching decisions in terms of group identity and where we're going with our future. We've got, basically a relatively detailed target that we're aiming to hit. But getting there's going to be some iterative experiences and processes along the way, and the Callisto Commission is helping us navigate that. So Callisto Commission 2.0 is going to help us scale with our group size, because we're getting to a point now where we get a lot of people in here, and there are quite a few individuals that have exhibited a desire or shared and expressed a desire to do a little bit more with the organization, and we could use the help and the assistance. Things like these videos and things like image editing and stuff like that takes time. And we're kind of aiming to share the load in a way that gives people some ownership and some agency of the group, gives them a little bit more carte blanche in terms of who they invite into the organization, little things. But if you're so inclined to participate in organizational stuff like that, there are rewards to be had. It's got to be your bag, right? So if you're interested in that, please let us know in the Belters chat, or you can DM somebody if you're more comfortable doing that. Definitely, we're interested in having you. If you have the drive and the desire, we're interested in having you. If you'd like to nominate somebody, have at her. I mean, like, if you're nominated and you're not comfortable, that's fine. Nobody's going to be upset. But you might be otherwise too shy. Who the hell knows? Callisto Musicbot. This is an important one that really, at least for me, and I know quite a few of us, it's nice to have that in the background. If you don't have permissions for that and you would like to have them, please let us know and we will make that happen. If you have any requests concerning the Callisto Musicbot, please make them known. For those that are kind of newer to Discord, the Musicbot could probably push you out of chat if you're not familiar with that. If you come into the by default, and if you come into the chat for the first time, the voice chat, that Musicbot is set at a user volume of 100. That is the default. So it's playing pretty loud. The intention is to give you control over how high you would like that volume. We recommend somewhere in like the 25 to 35% range. But if you're unfamiliar with that, this might be the only time you've heard those directions. So yeah, sorry in advance. But if you come in and it's really, really loud in there, just right click on the Callisto Musicbot, turn the music down to an appropriate level, mute it, do whatever you got to do. It's fine. But yeah, that's how you deal with that problem. I've heard that a few times. Okay, so we're going to talk to you directly here from a sort of like org management perspective, and somebody that helps keep this thing going. We're looking for some hands in a few things, but also mainly feedback on a few sort of pilot projects that we want to get off the ground. So this one has been brought up in the past, a fleet tracker. Now there is a fleet tracker app. It's kind of sketchy. Not really a big fan of it. There's a few people in the commission that agree with that. But I really like the idea of having a place, maybe even a spreadsheet, where people can list what they have in their personal fleet. And if they are interested in making that information known with the rest of the organization, which I can't imagine why people wouldn't want to, that's fantastic. We have kind of a roster of what's available to players. And if we're going to be planning stuff, it would be kind of nice to have that in the back of our heads, knowing off, at a quick glance, who has ground vehicles, who's got a drop ship. Things of that nature are really going to help us flesh out and create tailor-made, bespoke content for us to play, because there's going to be large lulls of content growth. Or at least periods where we've run everything to the nth degree and we want to do something new and exciting as an organization, still keeping it internal. But even with a resource like that, we can look at other larger inter-org stuff. Of course, we're running into server limitations. So anyways, let's talk about roleplay evenings for a little bit here. We all, to some degree, I shouldn't speak for all of us, most of us to some degree kind of are in a role play space when it comes to things like global chat in game. I love it. I fucking love it. I think it's fantastic. But I'm a geek like that. You might not be a geek like I am. You might be a geek in other ways, and that's to each their fucking own. But if you've ever played fucking D&D, I don't understand how you would want to shoehorn a little bit of that into this. Again, is it your bag? I don't know. We've talked about having like specific roleplay evenings where if you were to join the chat on a Saturday night or a Sunday night, you would kind of be expected to be in character. Oye, Batalola, right? We'll be hunting for today. Very fucking easy, right? If you're interested. If you're not, it's off-putting to some folks. I get it. Is it worthwhile entertaining the idea of having a static night every week? I don't know. That's something for you guys to kick around, but please, specifically me on that one, I'm looking for some sort of feedback. So if you have something to say about that that's relevant, if you'd like to see it, that's great. Let's talk about it. If you don't want to see it, that's great. Let's talk about it. I think it's a fun one to get us a little bit more invested in kind of org lore and think a little bit more about the minutia of the day-to-day Star Citizen presence, right? Something to think about anyway. Okay, event logging and organization. We touched on this. This is kind of coming back to the scaling of events. JT can be kind of a mess, and to be honest, I haven't even really been the one that's been spearheading the organization of that one. I've been more of an observer and fulfilling a role, and that's been kind of it. I've helped out, but it's a lot. So credit to those people that have arranged that in the capacity that they have. Thank you. We've all learned quite a bit in terms of how things like that are going to scale and how to best prepare for that. It's likely that we're going to see more from those individuals in terms of event organization, but if you would like to be involved in that role, again, we are kind of bringing in the next round of Callisto commissioners. That would be a very, very good one for you to say, hey, I'd like to do that. That would mean some stuff. It would mean some stuff because we've got a lot of stuff on the go, and some of these projects are quite large in scope and take a long time. Others are more actionable and a little less responsibility. So get a belter up. YouTube walkthroughs and resources. We don't have a overwhelming number of Star Citizen noobs, but at some point or another, you and I and some of our friends have been very, very, very new to the game. There is a huge amount of stuff that's out there. However, especially on YouTube, however, it can be a little challenging sifting through some of that stuff or finding the right YouTuber for you for that resource. I would sort of like to not necessarily crowdsource this one, but if you're interested in helping out, that's great. I would really like to get some feedback and some bodies for the eventual filming of things like an SPK run, because a lot of people haven't cleared their crime stat before. They don't know what's involved in that. I think it would be really, really easy for us to film a play session with a bunch of us. We take a ship together collectively, walk through some of the considerations for where you're going to park the ship, if you want to have a fucking ship when you're done with SPK. All of those little things and minutia that are covered in a broad stroke of those videos, but not all of it is in one place. I think we have the minds and the means to accommodate such a library, so to speak, of sort of intermediate level gameplay, things that are affecting the immediate Star Citizen experience, things like a crime stat. Maybe you won't come in fucking jail because shit's flimsy, yo. And yeah, like you gotta know how to deal with some of that stuff. So it would be good to have a quick resource library like that. So I intermittently will be looking for people to fill those roles, or say, hey guys, do you mind if I record tonight's session so we have an SPK run? And that's something that I can edit or something I'll edit. Which brings me into the mining and bounty hunting tutorials. Those are relatively straightforward, but things like the complete Quantanium loop for the Aaron's Halo, there are resources out there like that, but I'm sure we can whip something up that's 4 minutes long that's just right here on our Discord server. It's on our channel. It helps out the metrics with that kind of stuff. I see that as a win. If you're interested in doing that, or if you have some insight, again, you know how to do that, please do. And we're always looking for image and video editors. We have a lot of really awesome talent in here right now, but again, this is time, right? If you have some time that you'd like to dedicate and you'd like to take a swing at a project, or you just want to get involved, we have image editing and video editing stuff that's definitely readily available. Things even like recruitment, but really for me, looking at sort of the content of what we have to offer, that to me deserves a little bit more attention at this point. What can we bring in terms of events that are new? What can we flesh out a little bit more to make it more enjoyable, make it a little bit more cohesive that is existing? And how can we combine that? How can we enhance the experience for all of us? Even down to the event organizers for those kinds of things. How can we make your life easier? These are all things that I'd love to see people talking about and kind of thinking about, because the more minds that we have that are actively engaged in those things, we're going to get a lot more out of it. And please never be afraid to share an opinion, an insight, a question. All of that sparks critical thinking, and that's the cusp, the doorway to some really creative ideas. So let's keep that flowing. Yeah. I see some really great things happening for 2022. Thank you for a wonderful 2021. I know we didn't have a full year. We were basically only been at this for a little over 4 months, everybody. So great growth. I love the camaraderie. I love seeing stuff, but it's cool just to come into chat and people are just, mid-conversation about regular everyday stuff. Or I come in at a different time and they're talking about, that size 7 bearing cannon. I love it. It's great to see everybody getting along and really propagating that belt to load spirit. Right? That's what it's all about. Take care, everybody. Again, happy 2022. And you'll be seeing me. Probably. And it's that time again, our special time. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining Ghostknife or having interest in Ghostknife. I want to thank you for listening to me talk on and on and on about stuff that's probably not that interesting, but it means a lot. So thanks for being out here. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.